Well, our correspondent Anas Malik, who is in Tehran covering the elections, is now joining us live from Tehran. Anas, thanks for joining us. First up, very interesting turn of events. There is a competition between two very opposing candidates, so to say. What do you expect out of it? And tell us the latest that you have gathered there.
Well, certainly so. The results were expected, but not in the manner how it panned out, especially not for the Conservatives, because they had three candidates or three conservative, ideologically aligned Conservatives back candidates, Mustafa Bor Mohammadi, and then you had Muhammad Baqir Qalibaf, and the third was Saeed Jalili, the former diplomat. Now, all bets from the Conservative sides were on Muhammad Baqir Qalibaf for the fact that he's a hardliner, that he aligns with the IRGC, he's a former commander, he's close to the supreme leader. But in a shocking turn of events, it was Saeed Jalili who's bagged more number of votes and not Baqir Qalibaf. Saeed Jalili has managed to bag just over 9.47 million votes, but the the person in the lead is Masoud Pezeshkian. Dr. Masoud Pezeshkian, former health minister, a heart surgeon, he has managed to pull about 10.4 million votes out of the total 24.5 million votes polled. Now, the voter turnout has been 43% roughly. That's what has been informed by the Ministry of Interior spokesperson Mohsin Islami while addressing a press conference a short while back. In a very short while from now, at this very podium right behind me, we'll be seeing the acting Interior Minister of Iran, Ahmad Wahidi, addressing a press conference as well. But Iran is all set to go to run-off polls. That is next Friday. Now, tomorrow, that is Sunday, is when the Guardian Council will be endorsing the results that have been counted by the Ministry of Interior, and then they will be formally announcing the runoff polls and announcing its schedule as well. This was on the cards, this was along the lines, but certainly Saeed Jalili coming in number two instead of Baqir Qalibaf, that is something that nobody, and I repeat, nobody would have thought that would have happened. Jyotsna?
Anas, how much of an impact will this have on the foreign policy should the results go either way? If you could explain to us in brief if the various permutations and combinations that we can expect. We know that the power of the president is not all encompassing. It is ultimately the supreme leader who takes calls on most things. So how much of an impact will this really have?
Well, it will be a pronged strategy. It will not, I mean, if somebody is looking at drastic changes, that is not going to happen immediately. But eventually, yes. When we talk about drastic changes, that means is Iran going to shelf its nuclear plan? No. That if you're talking about Iran's approach with dealing with the Western sanctions, are they going to change? No. Unless and until there is a quid pro quo on the table, then only something can work out. And that is irrespective of whosoever gets to become the president. So that is clear. But in the longer run, can Iran give up the idea of enriching its uranium for arms use? Yes. That can be on the cards if a reformist government is elected. If a conservative government is elected, then the probability of that happening would be slightly, or in fact quite lower. That being said, if you are to compare 10 years as well, the conservatives have had a slightly hardened approach. In fact, if you compare the tenure of Hassan Rouhani and Ibrahim Raisi embraced the sanctions and moved on with it. He seemed to be unscathed about it. He said, yes, sanctions are a reality. So it would have to be taken into account as to who the people of Iran eventually get to elect as their 9th elected president in the 15th round now, and only then one would be able to gauge and understand what would be the far-reaching foreign policy implications or changes, if any, that there might be in the offing. Isha?
Thank you so much, Anas, for joining us with those details. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.